Hi, this week's episode is a little bit different. It has a video component that is an excerpt of a conversation that I had with my friend 11. She has a podcast called The 11th Hour. And I decided to clip our conversation because we talk about grief and dreams and artistic process and singing and other magical things. And I thought it'd be nice to share on my podcast. So, hope you enjoy. Here goes.
Okay. Just a short little paragraph of my experience of you, which I get to experience
Great.
more of. But for now, this is what came through. Fate would have it that the first time that we met, this beautiful being sitting in front of me, was on a really cold, somber day in Waynesboro, Virginia. And it was November 19th, which is a very special day for me, in fact, because 11 and then 19, which also connects us, which I'll come back to later. But my father died on a 19. He was born on a 19th and then died on a 19th. And then, yeah, just 19 is a very special number for me as well. So well, V passed away on 11/19. That's what we're commemorating. So
Yeah.
that's what it was. The memorial itself wasn't on 11/19, but that was like the anchor point. And then the church was on 11th Street.
Right.
So amidst the sea of black and gray, metaphorically and literally, there stood a few of us dressed in color. And it was like a pulse through the ether, vivified joy, magic meeting morning, a flicker of life where loss had settled in. Some voices crack you open, and some voices call you home. Yours does both. You're an artist who lets yourself be seen, and in doing so, you see all of us too. And it's an honor to share this space with you. You're someone who sings like you've been to the other side and back, like a
I
phoenix
have.
who's risen from the ashes. Yeah, you bring back medicine for all of us, and it's very felt. So I am referring to you as the vessel of vibration. Each note a prayer, each lyric a doorway. So please welcome the luminous soul, Marie Tati.
Yay, thanks. Oh, you're so poetic. I love it. That's so great. Yeah, I mean, shoot, there and back. Yes, child. Oh my goodness. And I think about that. I think about that in my music a lot, in specifically in singing a lot. I think about how committed to authenticity I've been and how I just would not allow anything other than the most deep, authentic, real essence of myself to come through my voice. And that's been its own struggle and journey, but I feel like each time I've encountered a death
Mhm.
or encountered death through a family member or friend, my voice has deepened. Or really, each time I've encountered any transformation, each time I've gotten sick, each time, just something in my life is radically changing, that adds to the depth of the voice. And now I have this, like, I think, incredible and amazing voice that I always knew I had, but I couldn't access it when I was younger because of the tension that I just experienced from, like, being anxious and um, sort of feeling disconnected from life, from people. Um, yeah, and then the more deaths I experience in myself and also in the form of other people shedding their bodies, the more I feel just like I release those layers of anxiety about whatever the fuck, like whatever, like what anybody thinks of it, or if I'm supposed to be here, or if it's good enough, or if the sound is absolutely perfect in the way that I want to hear. So yeah, that's its own journey. I think through a lot of shadow work, which
Mhm.
brings us sort of back to where we left off before the intro, which was so lovely. But
Yeah.
thank you. It is
Yes, of
wonderful
course.
to hear that and to have that
Yeah.
reflected.
It felt nice to hear that spoken from somebody who's, in my perception, it's funny how we perceive each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in my perception of someone who's very empowered in their voice, it's always nice to hear that. I was speaking with another artist friend of mine yesterday as well, who's just such a showman, can literally sing any song and just, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we both were kind of unpacking the same sentiment of just the artist journey of self-sabotage and just feeling like like you said, am I supposed to be here, like what and that's been for me because I've been wanting, and that's even why I got the tattoo of like being able to
Mm-hmm.
really access throat chakra. And when I'm on the medicine,
Mm-hmm.
specifically ayahuasca, a medicine that I work with, then the voice comes out because
Right.
it's uninhibited and that in
Right.
such a sacred space of knowing that all is welcome, and it's so palpable. And so I've been reflected back, hey, I'll like more of that, more of that. And I'm like, "Ah." So it's
How?
very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, how do you do that in everyday life, in everyday circumstances, in any circumstances, when maybe the container outside doesn't feel safe? Like, yeah, building the capacity inside is like that safe container inside. That is the work. Oh my God, that is the work to be able to just walk around and sing and speak openly, honestly,
Hmm.
with full voice anywhere where it
Right.
makes sense, you know?
Grief also is connected to the voice so deeply. And when you said that, that hit me. And it's there. I had a vocal coach, Crystal Stark. She's an amazing woman. And she, told me that after her first divorce, or her divorce, I don't know if the, I don't mean to sound like that. Her divorce, that she lost her vibrato. And she actually, I met her through my ex-husband. And so she said to me, it's gonna take a little time. And she's
Mm-hmm.
a professional singer. It's a
Mm-hmm.
empowered black woman that can sing
Mm-hmm.
her ass off.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, after my divorce, I lost my vibrato. So it's been a journey for me, this adventure of pulling that red thread or golden thread, whatever you want to. And I've just kind of been like finding it both literally, metaphorically, all aspects, because I feel very strong in this, in being able to dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
even to dialogue to the black void and put things out. I've been doing that's a very worked muscle. Very
Mm-hmm.
worked. I mean, I've
Mm-hmm.
spent thousands of hours online talking
Yeah.
to the Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Um, I made a whole career out of it for 10 years. And now it's been interesting to find that the next initiation is to find it through a different medium. Um, and it's also a paradox because I feel like I don't want to rush the ready. So
Don't.
making it just about like my like sacred space, and the way that I'm now like performing my voice, metaphorically, is through painting, which is silent.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so loud too. It's like very colorful and vivified. I'm like looking out. I have all these paintings that I've been working on the last couple months on my walls now, and that's how I'm speaking, is actually through, or singing. I'm like singing through paint, and it's beautiful. And then I do have my bowls here and I spend some time singing, but the performative aspect of me is so, like you said in the beginning, like I will not, that's not how I'm going to come out with music, is like where like the performative aspect. So Elton John, he always is like an inspiration for me, where he's like, you get to just see me commune with God. Thank you for coming to my concert, but this
Mm-hmm.
is just me and God. It just
Mm-hmm.
happens to be that y'all
Mm-hmm.
are here.
Yeah.
That's how I want to show up. I don't ever want it to be from this space of, and so I have yet to fully or I have moments of it, pockets of it, where
Mhm.
I get lost in my own voice, and it's
Mhm.
vulnerable. And it's so
Yeah.
intimate, even just with yourself.
Yep. It is. I've cried. I've stopped myself. I've heard things and been like, whoa, I'm not ready for that. Yeah.
Yeah, especially in times of grief. There's this deep voice that comes out of me, and it's like a spirit, I know, and it's deep, deep, like a deep part of my soul, and it gets super interesting. And I don't know an artist to like, I don't even want to do that, like compared to, but it's so cool to be like a malleable voice too. I'm just
Yeah.
kind of a chameleon and like find different. So that's kind of the season I'm in, of just finding and using singing bowls to find that too. And
Yeah.
it's not about saying words necessarily. So call it speaking in tongues, call it, meaning I'm not one to ever say light language. I mean, I know a lot of people out there are saying that, and that's beautiful. It's more to me, it's not about lyricism. It's kind of just, yeah, chanting. It's beseeching the Godhead, really. It's really, it's interesting that you said opera too. It feels like, I don't know. And I'm like, but from this
Mm-hmm.
place, I just want this season to just stretch into whatever it needs to
Mm-hmm.
be, instead of putting anything on it of like, okay,
Yeah.
I need to record. I had a friend say, okay, I
Exactly.
want a demo from you by June 1st, or yeah, June 1st, because he was just giving, and
I was
he
gonna
was
say,
so
is this a
loving.
man? This sounds like a man.
No, and I literally was
It's
like,
very masculine to be
and I
like,
was
you have to
so
shape the thing
stressed.
quickly.
Oh, he knows V too, Robert, who came with us to Peru. And
Uh-huh.
he was like, Al, your voice, he heard my voice on ayahuasca. He's like, your voice is amazing. He was like, okay, by June 1st, I want a demo. And that gave me 2 months. And I was like, okay. And then literally, I was so much more stressed that I couldn't sing.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, no, that this isn't it. This isn't it. So I was like, no, 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 that's not it. I'm just going to be painting. And then I just got
Mhm.
lost in a piece of art. But I was like, no, I can't force
Yep.
the voice.
No, you can't because you want it to be, thank you, I feel you. And you want it to be whole.
Mm-hmm.
You want it to be whole, if especially if you're going to share it.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order for it to be whole, it has to also be like giving back to you in a way that this is what I'm thinking now about my practice because I've been kind of like hermiting for 6 years. Um, I've been performing, but it's like only just kind of sparsely. Like I just stopped pushing. I was just like, I need
Mm-hmm.
to heal. Um, but what I think, I want the voice to be whole. And in order for it to be whole, or for me to know that it's whole, it has to be giving back to me, overflowing, so that what I then present to the world is actually a fraction of the experience that I have with it, so that I don't get caught up in the things that people start to,
Yeah.
project on me or my offering because of their programming or their like acceptance of programming. I just don't need it. I don't need it. I have no interest in it. Um, and what I think will be helpful for me as a woman, as a person, like steeping myself in the feminine at this point in my life after years and years of being like a boy. Um, thinking in a masculine way, like protecting myself, just, pulling up everyone around me and not feeding myself, not nourishing myself enough. I learned, and I am learning, that there must be a way to honor the slow, the delicate, the small, detailed, um, subtle life that I'm attracted to now. And that goes like for just broad scale, broad spectrum with everything. And it doesn't mean that I can't also, run some shit still, but I need this time to strengthen in those ways, um, so that yeah, again, like what the world starts to expect of me, want from me, ask of me, try to extract from me, like I just want it to come up on a buffer. Like it doesn't even, that stuff doesn't even touch me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I am so divinely in relationship with God, and our relationship is communicating through this art form, whatever that art form may be at the moment in my life. And so my communication with God in mm, on the path of communicating with God, if God or when God tells me, okay, it's time for you to share, it's it's got to be from the overflow.
Mm-hmm.
I just really feel that way. I feel that way about having kids. Like
Yes.
I'm not putting myself out to carry a relationship, to have children, to raise children. Like I want all those things too, but I think because I watched my mom and the frustration and the like implosion and eventual disease and death from imploding
Mm-hmm.
and, suppressing her creativity, I'm like, it's not worth it. Because now I can't go to my mom's house, when shit hits the fan in my life. And I want an elder who knows me from the time of my conception to now to like just give me some comfort. I don't have that in the same way, and I just think I want to do a greater service to whoever my children are, whether they're humans that come out of my loins, or they're humans that come from other people's loins,
Mm-hmm.
or they are, an album or a business or
Mm-hmm.
a project. I'm really digging into this um, well of divine knowledge that I think is like, it's very mysterious and very sort of under wraps. Like it's there, but we have to go searching for it, and we have to excavate it, and we have to sort of put on blinders because people are going to tell us all sorts of things about what we're doing and how fast we should be doing it. Um, but I love that. I love that you're like, well, I know what I want to do with my voice, but right now, what I can access is this paint. And I mean, all that is so, so real.
Mm-hmm.
I sing and I dance and I act. So I do like all the performing arts.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
I've gone through phases since I was a young person, very young person, of like doing music, then focusing on acting, then focusing on dance, then going back to music, then. And I noticed that when I do one, it strengthens the other. It's not atrophying because I'm not doing exactly the thing. It's like, no, it is all part of the same sort of spirit or something, all part of the same well. So if I'm doing something related to it or from the same well, it's affecting everything.
Yeah.
So when I do come back to it and cycle back, I'm also stronger in the other art forms as well.
It's who we are.
Mm-hmm.
All of the forms. And in
Mm-hmm.
this hyper vigilant culture that continues to create more. And I've been definitely one that's continued to produce because it's just what I do. So I'm trying to find that because it's now like breathing for me. But that slowness and exactly what you said, I relate so much to feeling like Mowgli in my life. That's who I call myself. I'm like little Mowgli in the jungle, just like I've been just like this androgynous little kid that's just like, okay. Yeah, and also just holding space for everyone else, making sure. And it's so interesting to finally, I get to work with the soil more and soften into more feminine aspects. For sure, there's always more room to grow. And while every journey is subjective, I've found like this is the closer I get to 40, I'm like, whoa, this is cool. And I had to viscerally and archetypally feel into all of the aspects beyond the binary for me, because that was the journey that I needed to go through. And now the integration of the androgen being of both aspects of the face of God has been really beautiful and grueling.
Mm-hmm.
It's been
Yeah,
like
it's stormy.
really, yeah, it's stormy.
It's stormy.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Because now I'm like so femme to the point where I'm like, I
Same.
just want a beautiful, grounded, masculine
Yeah.
man to just fully hold the field. And I don't want to do anything.
Anything
Anything. I
for a
can
long
cook, I
time.
can make
Yep.
a home, I will make kombucha.
How does this
Like,
happen? I don't even know how, but it happens.
it happened quick for me. All of a sudden, it was just like, and I was like,
Yeah.
I
Same.
just really just want to be a homemaker.
Same.
I just want to like watercolor with all organic materials. I just want to be here
I can't get over it.
foraging plants outside. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything now. I'm so
Yeah.
femme to where I'm like maiden,
Yeah.
you know, and
Me
it's
too.
that archetypal journey of the goddess
Yeah.
trifecta, because I feel the crone, right? Of course, the crone is always very present
Mm-hmm.
in my life. Just I think you have that very
Mm-hmm.
specific
Mm-hmm.
archetype as well. But then that between maiden and mother, because if our womb hasn't opened fully yet to like the
Yeah.
full birth of a individual yet, then it's been this, yeah. But this is bringing me into so many like so much remembrance of conversations that I had with V about motherhood. And
Yeah.
just, I'm sure that you did too.
So one of the things that came through during that time, this past May, was um, that this actually came. This was about like a couple of my exes. It started as one, and then it sort of morphed into. I've also been married. I was married to a woman in my early 20s, and like she's a soulmate, and we still have, this interesting thing where even though we don't really talk, we are in community with each other through other people. Um,
Mm.
and so I sort of had this thought. I was thinking about her a lot, and I hadn't been thinking about her at all for years. And I was like, I wonder what this is. But it was like
Mm.
another layer of sort of realization. And that layer helped me with a more recent breakup with the first man that I ever dated seriously. That like that whole thing broke my heart, and it was
Mm.
very stormy. But it helped me to understand my value, and specifically my feminine value, right? Which I just had not been operating in before then. So
Mm.
now I have this revelation, and this revelation is that it's like in the feeling of this revealing coming over me, I was a whale. And whales are huge. They swim in this huge vast ocean of um, reality and possibility and dimension, a lot of dimensions in the ocean. And so I'm this whale swimming in the ocean, and then I meet up with this other whale, right? And we're like swimming, and it's groovy and everything, and we're swimming together, and it's fun. And then that whale has to go off on its own path. We're no longer on parallel paths swimming next to each other. The times that I've experienced this, like in real life, it was devastating. I
Mm.
mean, like I had to save my own life. It was devastating. But in this moment of reliving it for this revelation, I don't think I have to be devastated. And then I kept swimming, and down the line, me and that whale met up again. And it was like, oh, hey, yeah, hey, oh, cool. So we get to do this path again real quick. I know we're going to have to separate at some point, because the point is not to go forever on the same path. with this other mystical, magical creature who also is moving through multi dimensions and has a lot of work in all the dimensions to do. The point is to enjoy the time that we have together to learn and grow and to continue. And it just felt so, it felt so healing in that
Mm.
moment to think about my exes in this way and to have this feeling of just like trust in that I'm okay to swim alone. Like, I won't be alone forever. I know that there will be times that I get to swim next to another magical creature. And I can miss them, but I don't need to be devastated by the
Mhm.
separation because if it needs if we need to come back together into parallel paths, parallel currents, then we will. If not, it still will be okay. Like, we did the work. We did our jobs together, which was to enjoy the time. Um, but the point is that the ocean is vast and multidimensional. I'm a vast being, and yeah, it just something that you said reminded me of that
Mhm.
again, and so I just really wanted to put that on the table because
I'm
it just
so
was
glad you
so
said that.
healing. Yeah.
It's wild. I was going to tell you, even before you mentioned the whale thing, the first instance of me even knowing that you were a fractal of divinity in human form was when V sent me your song 1111.
Yeah. Right. Your
And
namesake.
and I was like, "Oh, wow." And so I listened to it today before we jumped on. And then I realized I was like, I did a reading today from this oracle card deck called the Starseed Oracle,
Hmm.
and three cards fell out. Excuse me. Well, I did a few multi anyway, it doesn't matter. But like it was actually multi-deck reading. And so one of the cards was from the Starseed Oracle, and then one was from the light worker deck. That's what it was. The light worker deck 1111 came out. Like meaning I've never actually pulled that card, ironically. Like
Wow.
it's not some card that comes out that often. You'd think I see 1111 and like 11 it follows me everywhere. But I've been waiting to pull that card again. I was like, oh, it hasn't come for a while. And I pulled that one and I was like, oh, that's Marie's song too. That's interesting. And guess what card came out of the Starseed Oracle?
The whale.
The
What?
whales.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have not pulled that card in years either.
Yeah.
And it was speaking about singing,
Yeah.
and I was like the song and the voice, and I literally kind of
Wow.
like, because my singing bowl, since I got back from Arizona, I'm going through another little grief portal because I let down my or we transcended my beautiful beloved familiar back to the stars. I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at a painting that I did of him, so my dog. And but he's been my like everything. So for so long, 14 years. So grief is connected to that. So
Mm-hmm.
I brought my
Mm-hmm.
singing bowls to help release him back to the stars. But have I picked up the bowls since I got back to Mexico? Not one time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's been such a deep portal.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the spaciousness to just be in my own but I have not really been singing at all in the last month. And then I pulled that whale card today and then you said whale and I was like, oh, okay, interesting.
But I had a really beautiful experience with singing bowls one time when I needed to rest my voice because I had overexerted it, and I was receiving a sound bath through Zoom. Um, this wonderful Black woman who worked with singing bowls and chimes and stuff, and she played one tone. And I remember just impulsively wanting to match it, but because I was on a vocal rest, I didn't want to use my voice. So what I did was open my mouth and open my instrument as if I were making the exact same tone that the bowl was, and I felt the resonance in all the same places.
Whoa.
It was incredible. It felt so healing. I've never felt anything like that. I was like, "Oh, this is how sound healing works." Like, for
Interesting.
real. Yeah. Yeah.
Being and like to loop it all into like one big like circle is the new wave of church, of song, of ceremony, of ritual, of healing and coming together as one whole symbiotic interdependent group of beautiful beings is through, yeah, all, women, children, all bodied beings singing together in one space, and it not being at some concert idolizing. And so this is the prophecy. And to take it back to the ocean, the reoccurring dream as I was at that church at 1LA, and I spoke to one of the other gospel singers about this dream because it was so vivid and it kept coming strong. This was back in 2018. I said, I've been having these really vivid dreams that there's going to be a tsunami that hits Los Angeles,
Oh,
a
wow.
really big tsunami that's going to hit Los Angeles. And she was like, Sister, I've been having the same dream.
Stop.
And I was like, and guess what the dream was, though? That, like Noah's Ark, we knew the tsunami was coming. Like we had an awareness that it was coming before it hit. So we all went to that PCH, and the animals, and two by two, we were making our way down,
Oh my God.
and we literally held hands, and all the animals stood next to us, and we made this line facing the ocean, and we started singing one note.
Whoa.
And then the waves went, ooh, yeah, I have chills saying, the waves just went right back into the ocean, and we stopped the tsunami.
Whoa.
So I believe this
Whoa.
is very meta, and V Joy Meta is who connected us. This is fun. But it's a metaphor. And so I do believe that there are those of us that are, whatever way of singing or painting or putting our artistry or creating our vibration of expression ultimately, that we are, even though we don't see it. And again, could it be literal that, yeah, maybe, you know, but I also, we're in this, everything is story. So while there's bombs dropping and all these things happening, in order to stop this wave, and we know that the rebirth, the contractions of the Pachamama, Great Mother Gaia, are happening. In order to really do that, even if it's by one's paint stroke or, you know, whatever way of expression that it is, that each of you that are watching and that are experiencing this conversation, that is us singing the one note, whether it's through singing, whether it's through art, whatever sort of expression it is, that, you know, we get to metaphorically push that wave back into the ocean.
That's deep. That's a deep dream. Ashe to that.
Ashe. Grateful for you, Marie. Thank you for
Yes,
sharing
you
your
too. Thank
voice.
you, Elle.
Ah.
Yay. Thank you for joining, beloved. Mwah.